Ciao guys, and we're gonna play part 2 for our Seduce Me 2, the Demon War. When I first got this game, I thought that this was Seduce Me 2, the Demon War. Whoops. I know. Bad catty, bad. Oh well, we're here to go and play. So each one has its own destination. I know the purple one's like Diana. I don't know what's this one, so I'm gonna do it anyway.
Hold on there! Before you start the game, I need to ask you a few things. Don't want you getting lost now. First of all, have you read the first story, Seduce Me the Otome? Like, seriously read it? No skimming, nope.
My bad. Yep.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Next question. You do know this is Damien's route, right?
Yes. Okay.
You know, the demon that wanted to be a human? The, bastard son?
Cool. So let me save right here.
Oh, awesome! Alright then. Damien is such a precious soul, and he deserves to be happy, you know? Anyway, I have one last question for you. Some people like hearing the trigger warnings before they start games, while others don't really care and just want to play. It's cool either way, but do you want to know about some of the content listed in the game?
Sure, might as well. I literally waited a month before playing this because I wanted people to experience it first before me. I know I could have had like a lot of people watching me now, but no, take your time. I want to have everyone enjoy and see what they can experience on their own. So you're gonna...
No problem. It's my pleasure. Well, this game is recommended for players ages 18 and up. Trigger warnings include suicide, war, torture, mentions of rape, and a large amount of violence and sexual content.
Hence the recommended for players 18 and up.
Don't worry though, any sex scene choice you encounter is completely up to you. You can play this game without needing to go through the sex scenes and still get the good endings. Consent is important.
My bitch. Yes.
I think that should be everything. All right. Phew, that took a while.
But you know me, as a little, better face can do with anything with this personality. I'm going through the sexual needs.
You forgot something.
Huh? What did I forget?
You forgot about the disclaimer.
Oh, crap! Oh, how could I have forgotten about that?
It's fine, I'll take care of it. This game was produced by Michaela Laws using the Ren'Py visual novel engine. We truly hope you enjoy this story.
Thanks, Diana. Now, don't you have a war to go fight?
I do. I just wanted to make sure everything was in order before the story began. I'll take my leave now.
Thanks, Di.
Do not call me Di!
Anyway, we really do hope you like the story. Have fun! See you at the end.
I told him I had no regrets. I told Damien that I did not regret for 1 second that I had made a deal with Diana to make him human. I stood steady first and knew what I was doing. But I still didn't like the choice I had made. Something in my gut didn't feel right about what I did to Damien. Yes, I knew that Diana wouldn't have raped him, but what if she had? What if I gave her permission to do so and I didn't know it? What if he didn't want to go through it with it and Diana really did sleep with him anyway? I was mortified at the choice, but I just wanted him to be happy. Every time he said my name made me feel so happy. Every time he held me or kissed me was a moment I carved in my memory forever to cherish. I loved him and wanted him to truly be happy. Damien reassured me that Diana didn't do anything to him. but I cannot help but imagine it and even dream of it. Oops. Aw, shit.
So, bastard son, do you truly wish to become human? You know very well that I am capable of making that happen.
I will not betray her trust.
What she doesn't know won't hurt her. Besides, don't you want to be human so you can be with her and not put her in any danger?
Stop it!
I couldn't stop illusions of what Diana and Damien could have done from appearing in my dreams. Like a scene doomed to repeat over and over, Diana, shrouded in a shadow, would loom over Damien and show herself as the evil woman she truly was. Damien, however, would struggle, fight to get away from her, but I didn't want to see this, but I was forced to watch the scene play out.
Stop it. What makes you think you're in a position to say no to me?
I won't do it, Diana. You can't make me do this.
Oh, can't I? Your precious little human isn't here to save you.
I scream. I try to scream, to protest and prove Diana wrong, but I knew that I wasn't there. I was merely a bystander to a dream I could not stop. I was forced to witness Diana chaining Damien up to a black bed and touching him in the most sensual but unwanted ways possible. Her nails and tongue running along his skin made both him and me flinch and whimper in disgust.
Stop it!
What? Are you not enjoying yourself? You're an incubus, and even more than that, a man. Surely you can enjoy this treat in exchange for your precious humanity.
This was wrong. This was sick and beyond wrong. I felt like I was outside the small bubble Damien and Diana were in, and I was beating against the wall, trying to get in and stop her, but I couldn't break through. Each moment, Diana made me grow more and more sexual. Oh, Diana made me. Oh, my bad. Each movement, Diana made whatever. Diana made, each movement Diana made grew more and more sexual, like a predator playing with its prey. Damien struggled, thrashing about and fighting back against the chain that held him down, trying to break free. I prayed that he would. I screamed the hope that he would be released from this. However, Diana glared and snapped her fingers, forcing the gas, and his eyes to glow gold. He began to quake as if he was dying and starved like an animal, and glare angrily. Angry tigers at Diana, who only laughed. What sent deadly shivers down my spine was Diana looking over at me, as if she knew I was watching.
Remember, dear, you made this decision.
Diana chuckled before leaning in close to Damien's face, looking over his mouth and straddling his hips.
She was a cute little diversion, but now it's time to have some real fun.
As Damien began to scream, I suddenly woke from my nightmare, mentally unable to take being trapped inside of it anymore.
Huh?
What? Beside me, I heard and felt Damien rise out of bed in response to me waking. I looked over at him, seeing him quickly rub his eyes and look with me at worry.
Hey, what's wrong?
I knew he couldn't read my mind anymore, so he wouldn't have known what I had seen. I still couldn't help but need to embrace him from the dream I had. Damn, motorcycles! Grabbing Damien's arm gently, I began to whimper.
Huh? Hey, come here.
Damien gently wrapped his arms around my form and hugged me to him, petting my back. I let out a weak mew, shutting my eyes and trying not to cry. Damien gently kissed over my head, trying to calm me down.
Everything's okay. It was just a nightmare. I'm right here.
His voice helped me slowly start to relax, knowing that what he said was true. It was a nightmare, not real. I couldn't shake all of this sadness from my mind, but I calmed down enough to not let it control me anymore. Damien gently rocked me, his arms wrapped around my body lovingly. As he softly whispered my name, my mind simply melted into a peaceful hum. Da, 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 don't give me time to make some names. Do, 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 do. Everything was okay now. Everything was fine. I'm not that dreaming fine. I looked up at Damien and rubbed my eyes as he loosened his embrace around me. I'm sorry. I can't stop thinking about the deal I made with Diana.
I told you before that it was fine. Honestly, it's nothing to worry about.
Damien gently kissed my forehead before pressing his to mine. Nuzzling me softly, he stared deep into my eyes with a loving smile, one that made my heart ooze in happiness despite my worry.
I cannot be any happier than I am now. I'm marrying the woman of my dreams as a human, an actual human. I owe everything to you.
Mortal Kombat! Damien. I rubbed my nose against Damien's, closing my eyes and wrapping my arms around his neck. I knew he was being sincere and was truly happy. I had to get over my fears and deal with it. He was human now, and we were going to get to be married soon. You know, my heart truly couldn't believe it. I was going to marry Damien, and we live happy ever after together. It was so good. I almost couldn't believe the truth of it. However, I was always reminded of the reality of it every time Damien held me in his arms. Damien smiled before kissing my head and patting the bed behind me.
Come on. Let's go back to sleep. I'll be right here if another nightmare appears.
I thought you weren't wearing any pants, but seemed like you were. I nodded and slowly fell back onto the mattress, cuddling up to Damien as he laid beside me. If the nightmare came back, Damien would be in my arms, reminding me it was all fake and just my imagination. Everything would be alright. The night quickly passed by, and the morning sun peeked through my window drapes, and landed perfectly over my eyes, waking me up. I stretched and yawned, not wanting to get up just yet. However, the emptiness of the bed next to me made me open my eyes wide, finding out, Damien beside me. Damien? I sat up and looked around the room after rubbing the sleep from my eyes. Damien was no... 3, 2, 1. I looked over at the door to see Damien holding a tray of breakfast with 2 platefuls of delicious food, and a vase beside my breakfast plate were 2 beautifully bloomed white roses, which made me a soft smile grow on my face. Morning, is that for us?
Yeah. I figured why not have breakfast in bed?
You're so sweet, thank you. Damien smiled and sat beside me, placing the tray over both our laps. The smell was practically intoxicating in the best ways possible. Before we began to eat, however, Damien picked up the TV remote from the nightstand beside him.
James's big toy reveal is today. Do you mind if we watch it?
I shook my head, eager to see it as well. James had become the CEO of the Anderson Toy Company, so I was curious to see how he was doing and how the company was holding up. Apparently, it was rising higher and higher up the top business ranks, and soon had become one of the most top 500 business internationally. I was proud of James, but I was more happy to see that Damien seemed to be his #1 fan. He was always giggling whenever he talks about all his brother's accomplishments. It was so adorable. Damien grinned before turning on the TV and changed the channel to a local news station. It was one of the best news stations out there, and I was not being biased. Anyone who claimed to love Chicago knew it.
Alright, so here we have an interesting story to tell. The Anderson Toys Company, an internationally famous toy business, has just recently announced a new line of toys in development. According to the CEO, the line is said to focus on fantasy. Let's take a look at the public announcement.
I am more than happy to show off our new line, Fantasy Kingdom, for you all this morning. These toys will not only provide friendship and fun for children around the world, but will help inspire imaginations and let creative minds grow.
I cannot help but school at what I saw on the TV. All lined up in a row were adorable cartoon-like stuffed fantasy dolls, glimmering in the broadcast lights of the TV station. There were knights, royalty, and creatures of all kinds, some not even truly fantasy. Damien, however, laughed quietly at the sight. Huh? What? They're really cute.
They are! Only a couple of them are real, though.
What? Really? My jaw dropped. Some of the creatures that were represented were actually real. I knew demons and devils existed, but there were more of them. My mind began to imagine all the creatures on the screen being potentially real. Damien nodded and pointed at the TV.
Vampires are real, but they don't look like that. They look like humans.
No way. I cannot believe it. There was no way vampires existed. Damien, however, nodded with a reassuring grin.
I promise it's true. Werewolves used to exist too, though they were killed off by the vampires long ago. Let's see.
I looked to the TV to see the vampire dolls and the werewolf plush sitting next to each other, being simply cute and stereotypical of what most people imagine them to look like. Damien then pointed to the screen again.
There, the angel toy? Angels are real too, only they don't look like that.
I looked over to see a beautiful golden hair doll of Angel. They really didn't look like that. I tilted my head at Damien. Well, how do they look if they're not like that?
Well, they look,
Damien rubbed his chin, unsure how to reply. I could tell he was being serious and wasn't lying about them looking differently. But they seemed to be hard to describe. Damien then shook his head.
They look like old statues. It's really hard to say without drawing it out or something.
I wasn't in the mood to get up and grab paper and pencils, so I struggled and let it go for the moment. Damien and I looked back to the TVs, seeing the entire line pass by the camera, showing what toys were available. I'm surprised he didn't make a demon toy, like a cat girl or something.
I don't think many people would understand it. Though it would be cool to have a demon doll.
I guess you're right. They are for kids after all. I looked at Damien as he became absorbed in the line of toys. I couldn't help but smile at how intrigued he was. It made me curious. Hey, Damien, did you ever have toys as a kid? Damien looked at me surprised before shaking his head with a slight grimace.
No, I didn't. Matthew made some for me sometimes, but they were always taken away.
I frowned. I was sorry for asking, but Damien shook his head again and smiled.
However, when we came to the human world, I actually got one. It was a stuffed kitten. I didn't do anything, but it was fluffy and cute.
Damien rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment.
Must be dumb, huh? A grown man with a cute toy like that?
Nope. It's like if a grown man comes in and get a very strawberry cream frappuccino. It's perfectly fine. Damien stared in shock at me But I was being serious. It didn't matter that Damien was a man. Cute toys were cute for a reason, and it was okay to think so. Having cute toys is not a bad thing at all. That's what some toys are meant to be. Cute. It doesn't matter who has them or how old you are. Cute is cute. It was just a fact to me. However, Damien couldn't help but chuckle softly before bringing one hand to my head and petting over my hair.
You are so adorable, you know that?
Boy, with this butter face and this personality, we can go anywhere. Huh? I blushed and looked down at the breakfast tray in front of us. I wasn't that cute. No, I felt myself rub the back of my neck in embarrassment. Shush. That made Damien laugh and kiss my cheek, forcing my gas to come out of me. I looked at Damien as he smiled, a playful grin at me.
It's true.
We both turned back to the TV and listened as James explained each toy in detail. I looked over to Damien to see him practically enthralled with the sight of his brother presenting his line. I gently nudged him, making him look back at me. Jeez, you're making me jealous. It's like James is enthralling you through the TV to buy his toys. I, of course, was joking, you know? Damien was very happy for his brothers, especially James. With a raised eyebrows, Damien gently removed the tray from our laps, placing it on his nightstand before crawling over my body and making me lay back. I stared at him in surprise as he gave me a seductive smirk.
And what if I was enthralled by you?
Nigga, calm down. It's more time. Let me get my coffee before we start this. I was speechless. Damien was full of surprises, even as a human. He didn't have the ability to read my mind, but he knew exactly what to say to make me squirm. I mean, how was he this good? He was human now. Damien chuckled before leaning in and kissing me. Despite not being a Damien anymore, his kisses were always so magical. They each took my breath away each time his lips touched mine. I loved him. Loved them. I wrapped my arms around him and deepened the kiss between us. Forgetting about what was going on with the toy line, all I could think about was Damien's kiss. It was sweet and passionate, eager to make my body quiver underneath the one kissing me. However, the sound of our stomachs rumbling in sync forced us to break away from the kiss and look down at our touching bellies.
Maybe we should eat a bit before we continue this, huh?
Boy, or we can just do it now. So when we're hungry, you know, we're gonna be hungry afterwards. Why I have to wait? Good idea. No, that ass. No, it gotta be now. As much as I wanted to keep making out with Damien, I knew that my stomach would keep interrupting, so would his, unless we ate. We ate the delicious breakfast Damien made while watching the rest of the news. It was a nice segment, and Matthew even appeared to help during James' presentation. Soon we were flipping channels and watching random shows. The day passed by lazily. We barely left the bedroom because we just didn't want to do anything. It was rather relaxing, surprisingly. I knew we had to work on the wedding arrangement eventually, but today was not that day for that. We needed a day for ourselves, to remind each other that we were going to be together for a long time. It wasn't long before we found ourselves cuddling into each other's arms, taking a mid-afternoon nap. It was sweet and peaceful drowsiness that lured both of us to close our eyes together. The darkness of my mind invited me to stay a while, and I gladly accepted its invitation. It felt nice, and I was enjoying the rest of it gave my body. However, I soon saw that I was not alone in the darkness. Whoa! Damien slowly appeared before me and took my hand, kissing it gently. I felt myself shudder, but it wasn't his nude form or his kiss that surprised me. It was his eyes. My mind recognized those eyes, shooting up in my body from the sight. Instead of the loving and soft blue and purple his eyes usually were, they were a deep gold. They bore into my soul as Damien continued to keep his lips on my hand. Damien? As Damien smirked against my skin, my body began to feel hot, making me curl into my body. I tried to pull my hand away from him, but he held it firmly, keeping his lips against my skin over my knuckles. No! I recognized the feeling. He was enthralling me. Why was he doing this in my dreams? Why was this happening? We continued to float in the darkness, his enthrallment invading my body as he held my hand to him still. I had to make him let go. I had to. Stop! Finally, I was able to pull my hand away, and I held it close to my chest. Damien stared in shock before something dark covered my eyes.
Look out!
Huh? From out of nowhere, Diana's voice rang through the air, followed by the sounds of an intense battle. I looked around the darkness, unsure of what was going on, but something did not feel right. As I stood, lost in darkness, I felt a heavy weight upon my back, forcing me down. It was as if a large boulder was pressing me down, wanting to crush me underneath its weight. I fought against it, gritting my teeth as I struggled. A large grunt echoed over me, forcing me to look up and see Diana pushing at the boulder to get off me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Why was Diana ever helping me? Quickly, we were both forced off my body, and soon I found myself looking into the great hall of the Incubus old castle in the abyssal plains. The interior was regal as I remember, but behind me was a broken down entrance where I assumed the boulder had originated from. However, Diana and I were not alone.
Is she all right?
I wouldn't worry about her, you mistake!
Fail, look at your face, look at yourself, and think about who's the real mistake. I stared as the Demon Lord and Damien stood, squared off with each other. In the Demon Lord's hand was a large chain covered with dry blood, and my stomach churned at the sight.
She will never leave this world alive as long as I live!
I looked at Damien, then back at the Demon Lord. What was going on? Why was Diana here? Why was I here? Oh. As the Demon Lord whipped his chain at Damien, Diana shot out a blast of purple energy, forcing us to ricochet away. Diana stepped in front of me and Damien, glaring hard at the Demon Lord and preparing another spell in her hand.
Go with her. I'll deal with this once and for all.
If I'm going to fall here, all of you will fall with me!
The Demon Lord, with a crazy grin, pointed his hand towards the ceiling and let an angry howl, causing tremors and quakes to run through the room. Diana shot her hands upward and formed a purple barrier around our bodies, as she winced with each stone that fell and slammed into the ground.
I can't hold it!
This castle will be your grave!
You're 10 years too late! My instinct was to reach out and hold on to Damien, but before I could move, he grabbed my face and kissed me roughly. I stared at him, wondering what he was doing, but I kissed him back and dug my fingers into his shoulder. Was this dream going to end with us dying? As I pulled away, I saw tears begin to form into his eyes. I stared as he gently pulled away from me. I ran outside Diana's barrier at the Demon Lord, picking up a fallen sword from the ground. With a courageous shout, Damien slashed at the Demon Lord, forcing him to quickly jump backwards towards the throne.
Keep her safe!
What? Are you insane? You're powerless against him!
You're faster than me as a demon. I won't be able to get out of here fast enough for us both to survive.
Damien! I wasn't sure what was happening, but I didn't like what was going on or seeing. Why was Damien telling Diana to keep me safe? I watched as Damien looked at Diana with an affirmative glare and nod. Before I could question it, Diana ducked down and threw me over her shoulder. How she managed to be so strong enough to perform such a feat was beyond me, but I was too thrown off to care.
You will not be forgotten!
Just go!
I reached out to Damien, losing track of what was happening as Diana began to run away from him, and the demon roared faster than the speeding car. Damien! Damien!
I love you.
I watched the tears run down Damien's cheek as he reached back for me, but he remained where he stood. As Diana ran with me over her shoulder, the ceiling began to crumble within the hall, stone and glass falling all around the demon lord and Damien. The world around me began to go in slow motion as I kept reaching out to Damien, struggling in Diana's arms as she ran. Why was this happening? I could only watch as the demon lord approached Damien and quickly wrapped the chain around his neck, pulling him into the air and hanging him with it like an executioner's noose. Damien tried to place his feet on the demon lord while his fingers crawled at the chain, trying to find some purchase. As he managed to get to his feet around the demon lord's neck, a large amulet of stone and glass fell over their bodies, hiding them from sight. I couldn't be sure, but it looked like as if they were being crushed. No. The world around me broke apart as I began to scream in agony at what I was forced to witness. It couldn't have been real. I didn't want it to be real. I let the darkness of my dreams envelop me as I mentally repeated over and over that this was not real. Once again, I was floating in darkness, curled into myself in overwhelming sadness. Why was this happening? Why was I being forced to see nightmare after nightmare? I dug my nail into my arms, wanting to wake up already. Please, let me wake up. Please. As I felt my body begin to fall, I let go of my arms and tried to reach for something to stop my rapid descent. Faster, faster. I felt my body tumble and fall through the darkness into the unknown oblivion. I tried to grasp at anything to catch me, to stop me. I eventually woke up, holding on to Damien as I refocused my vision. I was back in my room. I had landed and woken up before I felt the impact. Or perhaps the impact woke me up. My grip on the shark woke Damien up from his sleep, gasping and looking at me.
Gah! What happened? What's wrong?
Damien! I instinctively wrapped my arms around him, needing to feel him physically. It wasn't enough to see or hear him, but the feeling of his body being in my arms reassured my mind that he was okay and that he was here with me alive. Damien looked at me and wrapped his arms around me, letting out a small sigh and nuzzling me softly.
Another nightmare?
I could only nod against his shoulder. I was quivering in his arms, but I was thankful that everything was okay, at least. My dreams were just that, a dream. I sighed and kissed him softly, silently apologizing. Damien held me close for such a long time, understanding my need to simply feel him. He didn't pull me away, nor did he speak. He simply held me and gently nuzzled me to help me fully come down from my fears. I felt his hand gently pet my hair, aiding my shift from sadness to a relaxing calm. I mean, everything was fine. Everything was okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep getting nightmares.
You can't control your dreams.
My memories flash back to the first time he said that to me. It was the day right after we met. He saved me from a nightmare of Malik's. I let a smile cross my cheeks as I looked up at Damien. Huh. Well, you told me that when we first met. Damien gently pulled me away and smiled at me, kissing my cheek.
I did, didn't I? You remember that?
I nodded. I never wanted to forget how we met. He and his brothers came to the human world and arrived at my house, where I got to be with them and learn about them. At the same time, I was able to become closer to Damien and fall in love with him. Yes, there were bumps along the way, but we were able to get through them. We even were able to give Damien something he desperately wanted, to be human. Damien gently caressed my cheek, inviting me to nuzzle him in his palm, and he smiled down at me as he laid his forehead against mine.
No matter what comes our way, I promise to protect you and love you for the rest of my life.
You'll never leave me? Why would you ask that question? Like, fam. Okay, alright. Damien shook his head and I believed him. His simple smile was enough for me to understand that he was telling the absolute truth. He wouldn't leave me and I would never leave him. I nuzzled my nose to his, looking into his beautiful eyes. Do you not regret being a demon anymore? He shook his head again. I knew he was beyond happy to be human, but the nightmares made me worry over and over again without relenting. I knew I was worrying over nothing. I knew I was worrying about. It's okay. Brain's gonna fix it. I knew I was worrying over nothing. I was worried about nothing. I knew that I was worrying over nothing. But more than anything else, I wanted Damien to be happy. I couldn't help but worry. I slowly tilted my head up and captured his lips with mine, kissing him ever so softly. He returned my kiss, his arms tightening around my body. My worries slowly began to melt and drift away as he held me. I could feel my body slowly draw closer to Damien, craving more of his touch. My fingers gently traveled up his shoulder and ran through his hair, brushing through the strands lovingly. He shivered at my touch, making me tremble in response. The thing is, I had just woken up from a nightmare. Was it really alright to feel like this right now? My mind questioned my body's intention, and my body ignored every logical reason my mind had to put a stop to the situation. I had to listen to one or the other. Let's do this shit. Something in my body was calling for Damien, and I didn't care about what I had just witnessed. I was attracted to him, and I needed more of him. It was crazy, but I didn't care. I was in love, and also deep in lust. Shit! My foot! I slowly dragged my hands down and began to undo his shirt, needing to feel his bare chest with my fingers. In response, Damien dipped his hands under my shirt and up my back, and I shivered in delight as they reached my spine. I couldn't help but moan against the slip at his touch, loving how his fingers teasily and lovingly ran down my back. As his chest was bare to me, I ran my fingertips over his toned skin as I arched my back towards him. Ooh, getting frisky. Damien smirked slightly against my lip as he reached farther under my shirt, discovering that I wasn't wearing a bra and feeling my bare skin with a clasp would be. I opened my eyes, watching him stare down at me with a lovely, yet lustful gaze. Just his stare made me feel weak in his arm, and he made me moan once more against his lips and swoon in his arms. Damien moved his hand away so that he could fully remove his shirt from his body before he held me out of mine, pulling away from the kiss to do so. I whimpered at the loss, but I knew what had to be done. As Damien gathered me back into his arms, I wrapped my arms around his neck, needing to be close. He became so much more daring whenever we were about to make love. It was almost like a complete character change whenever passion took over. He knew what he was doing and knew exactly where to hold me to make me melt against him. Damien slowly ran his hands down my back and slipped them under the hem of my pants and panties, gripping to my bare rear and massaging each cheek oh so lovely. I pulled away from his kiss and moaned out into the air between us, gripping his shoulders at the feeling. It wasn't helping that the heat and need in my core were flaring to have him take me as he groped my ass and made my nerves jump and shake in desire. I looked at Damien with half-lidded eyes, feeling my desire increase with each press of his fingers and palms. He had a small smirk on his lips, and I liked my own at the sight. Damien gently leaned in and nipped at my mouth, biting my lower lip and sending pleasurable waves down my body and into my already tightening core. As he released it, he leaned his forehead against mine, staring deep into my eyes.
Are you sure you want to do this? I don't think I'll be able to stop myself if we continue.
What the fuck question is that? Why you ruining the mood, boy? I didn't want to hear it. I grabbed his head and pulled him back into a passionate kiss, needing to stop him from suggesting that we stop. I didn't want to stop. I wanted him. Damien took the hand, and he kissed me back just as deeply. He dug his fingernails into my skin. Oops. That's a finger. Damien took the hand and kissed me back just as deeply. He dug his fingers into my skin, making me arch my back further and grind against him in need. I was drowning in desire, and I needed him immediately. Not fast enough, he had removed the remainder of our clothes from our bodies, and we were making sweet and passionate love. Our breaths and moans echoed through the room, shamelessly and relentlessly. Each word we let out became a declaration of love, of passion, of internal bliss between us as we rocked on the mattress passionately. My fingers danced and dragged themselves along his skin, leaving lovely red marks in their wake. We didn't need demon enthrallment to feel immense pleasure between us. We made each other feel perfect as human, and that was all that mattered when we held each other. Soon our moans became harder and louder. Soon our moans became harder and louder, driving alongside our pleasures and ecstasy. My fingernails began to dig into his skin and onto the bedsheet as I began to apex and rush over my highest point. As I finally passed through the peak of my pleasure, so did he. And we both blissful. Oh fuck, what's wrong with me? As I finally passed through the peak of my pleasure, so did he. And we were both blissful and warm. We slowly melt into the afterglow of our sex and cuddle with each other. Not wanting to lose the warmth between our bodies, our sex was part of how we express our love to each other, and we didn't want to lose any bit of it. Damien cradled me in his arms and kissed my forehead before kissing me on the lips gently.
I am yours. Forever.
Forever. And I am yours. It wasn't long before I closed my eyes and fell asleep again. This time I was above to float in a blissful darkness, uninterrupted. Soon, days went by, passing forward in almost hyperdrive until a couple of days before the wedding. Damien and I was working hard after our rest day to make everything perfect, and we were positive that nothing could go wrong. Why would you say that? Have you never read one of your mangas? The boys picked them up, leaving me alone to get in my wedding dress and wait for my limo to drive me to the wedding hall. I was nervous that I needed to prep everything on my own without interruption. I got into my dress, finished getting ready, and wound up staring at myself in the mirror in awe. I was in my dream wedding gown, looking as I had always imagined. I looked like I was getting married. I'm getting married. The one thing that made it special was that I was marrying. I stopped myself. Damien wasn't a demon. He was human.
Aren't you so proud of yourself?
The fuck, Diana? Diana. What the fuck? Diana, let me tell you something real quick, girl. You came on my wedding day. I'ma fuck you up. I'ma fuck you up. Fuck you up. But we all know this wedding was gonna be a fucking disaster. Huh? I looked around, suddenly hearing Diana's voice in the air. Just hearing her ask that one question filled the air with dark and menacing tension. However, it was impossible. How was she here? Diana, where are you?
You didn't answer my question.
Why should I? Show yourself.
I'll see you in the fucking shadow of the dark, little bitch.
Alright, as I looked at the mirror, I gasped. Instead of my reflection, I saw a dark shadow with glowing eyes staring at me. I would know those cruel eyes anywhere. Diana.
How does it feel to be inches away from marrying the man of your dreams?
Bitch, you don't act like this. Why you frontin'? Why should I tell you anything? Why are you here?
A frisky bridezilla, aren't you?
Answer me.
Tell me first. How do you feel now that Damien's no longer who he was?
I don't give a fuck. Who, he, what?
Remember, he was born a demon. And you took that away from him. Well, I did anyway. At your request, of course.
He wanted to be human. This is insane. Why was I arguing with her when she's just a shadow in the mirror? Diana let out a dark laugh.
You don't even know who you're marrying, do you? Damien, the human who was a demon. What's next? Will he demand to be a woman instead? He could easily be one. Oh, wait. He can't because he no longer has the ability to do so himself.
Why do you care? He can do what he wants.
But do you even know what he wants? I want to go to the human world. I want to be human. Tell me, can you give him everything he wants? I want my mother back. I want to forget that I was ever a demon. I want to forget I was even born.
Stop it. What the fuck? Is she fronting? Because we all know Diana don't act like Diana don't like to do this, and she's mad as fuck, and she fronting. This on my wedding day, bitch. Try me. I'm gonna get some motherfucking holy water. couldn't take it longer. I grabbed the lamp on my nightstand and lifted it, ready to smash the mirror to pieces. However, as I looked back at the mirror, it only showed my reflection. Diana was gone temporarily. We're gonna say it like that.
I knew it! I knew it! That girl has demon magic!
What the?
Then quit talking and let's take her!
How? Wait, first off, what do you mean she got magic? I don't have magic.
The Demon Lord will be so pleased.
Who? Before I could turn to search for the voices, I felt my hands grab hold of my feet, and I looked down and shift and lift my dress. Two pairs of evil-looking hands had taken a hold of my ankles, reaching through a dark red and purple pentagram. I shrieked, trying to pull my legs away, but I couldn't stop them as they swiftly pulled me into the ground. And we're gonna stop right there. I'm trying new things out and seeing what will work. As for me as being a YouTuber, we finally see that they're after us and don't understand why that they say that we have magic. Did you see magic? No, we see that we're talking to Diana. That does not require magic. That's magic on her end, not ours. Now, this is different from the bonus that they showed us from the first game, because she was at her grandfather's tomb? Graveyard. And when it rained, it showed that, there was a protection thing around her. That's one way to see that she got magic powers, not talking to somebody in a mirror. Unless they're saying something that we don't know. Oh, well. Guys, enjoy yourself. And get up every once in a while, circulate them legs, try to get them blood circulating. Don't want to have no blood clot. Drink some water. It's hot. I mean, if it's cold where you're at, warm up, drink some hot cocoa. And you guys have a good one, okay? I'm slowly trying to make it better for my Let's Plays and make sure that it's easier for you guys as well to enjoy this. So, positive vibes.